This is my fourth track screen recording for the month of April. Right, this is another trap influence track I made for my EP. This track I took influence from another song called Lil Uzi Vert, All My Chains. Kind of just like the swinginess of the whole track.
On her face, no Georgina, ayy. Bad bitch look like Tina, ayy. Got my Nina down, got my other Nina down. On the block with all my chains on. On the block with all my rings on.
Also, one thing I liked about this track was the piano at the start. It's a damn. I tried to replicate this in my track without completely copying it, but I used a completely different sound. Kind of sounds like this. It's the first instrument I started off with. Kind of quite similar. To this, I added a channel EQ. I removed the lower end and boosted some of the mid because that's really what I wanted coming out of this sound. You can see it's where it's kind of bouncing around. I also added a compressor just to make it a much more solid sound and a lot more prominent in the mix because it was that's what I wanted from it. The second instrument I added after that was this instrument from Alchemy. Oh no, this instrument from Nexus. I added a brass to it just to make it more, a lot fatter, a lot darker. Kind of adds that feel. Kind of just makes it a bit more dramatic, really. Next instrument after that I added was this one. Oh, it's just another piano over the top, just to help out this sound. Just kind of blends together. The next instruments I added was this sound from Alchemy. Oh, this is pretty much just a background sound which I just used every 8 bars or so, just to add some variety to the track and just make it sound a bit more abstract. Hear it, just hear it about. Just make it sound a bit different. Next instrument from that I added was this flute hole. Just adds a bit more help to this instrument on the top. To this track I just added a channel EQ and cut the lower end and just boosted the higher end. I also did the same with the other instrument before that and just added a little bit of silver verb. To the brass I just cut the low end because I didn't want too much bass coming through because of the 808, and that other piano I cut the low end and I cut some of the high end and boosted the mids again. The next instrument I added to this was this other Alchemy sound. It's a nice sound just to help out the other piano and such. I added the channel EQ, cut the low end again, and I boosted just about the mids. Then I put a compressor on it just to make it more solid and solidified sound again. Right, the next instrument I added was this piano from Nexus. I just added this to add some variety to the track and really just bring out some of my piano skills, really, just to make it sound a bit cool. Just adds to the whole track, really, in general. Right, the next instruments I started to add to that were my drums. Then I started with some hi-hats, some rolling hi-hats. I haven't put any effects on this one, I just left it how it is. These you can see I've done the velocity where one's higher or one's a heavier velocity than the other, just to add some like some swing and some humanity to it, really. The next instrument I added was a snare, just the main snare. Just added channel EQ to this and boosted the mid end, which I wanted to stand out. Cuts through very nicely. It's that. Added a little. I think I added another snare to help it, just to swing it up. Yeah. Some velocities. Just the arpeggiator. Just to add some ride to it. Again, I added another snare just to help the drums out, to fill the spaces. The next there, I added some more hi-hats, but these are some kind of stuttering ones, just over the top. And added open hat, just to ride the track all together, really. After that, I think I added a triangle. Yeah, just to fill some spaces. Just kind of build the drums all together, really. So that. Then I think I added a crash, just to bring out some difference and some dynamics, really. Make it a bit more exciting, really. And, after that, I added the kick. Also with the triangle, I added a slight bit of stereo delay, just to get some pan over the speakers, really. Then to this kick, I added Fab Filter Satin, which is pretty much like a compressor slash like EQ for sounds. It really helped me just make my kick a lot fatter. And well, the one where I learned how to use this was researching online how to use it, and I've included that in my my research log, so there's evidence of that as well. But yeah, I feel that makes my kick a lot heavier, fatter. And lastly, I added the bass. It's kind of like the one in that Uzi track, very fast, but into this I added channel EQ, cut the low end, little subby ends, and then I cut the high end completely. After that I did overdrive as well, just to add some heavier bass. And then I added a compressor so I could sidechain the kick to the bass, so the kick would always cut through over the bass. So I wouldn't really have to worry about the low frequencies getting quite muddy, because the kick would override the bass anyway. That's the whole track.